Hello everyone. Today we'll start working on a actual to-do list. And first we'll build our item model. Then we'll build a view for a single to-do item. And then in the following videos we'll actually build a to-do list. But now we'll just focus on building one single to-do item so that we can use it as a component. So first we'll go in our models folder, hit Command N, make a new Swift file, click Next. Let's call it tk to do. And here we'll define our model for our to-do item. So we can do that by doing struct task item, or let's say to-do item. We'll make it conform to codable and identifiable. I'll cover them later on, like why do we need to conform it to codable and identifiable. For now, just follow along. To make it conform to identifiable, we need to give it a ID property. I'll simply say let ID be of type string. I'll have a title be of type string. We'll have a due date to see when we actually have to complete the to do by. Let's make it a time interval. Same with the creation date. Let's call it a time interval. Let's actually do this as created date. And finally, we'll have a variable called is done. It would keep track whether the task item or the to do item is completed or not. We'll simply say var is done of type boolean. Now there is work left in this struct, but we'll do that in the following videos. Now we'll need two new files. One would be the view model and one would be the view for our task item view. Let's go in our views. Let's hit Command N. Let's make sure it's a SwiftUI file. Hit next. We'll say something like to do item view and we'll hit create. And in our view models file, we'll go new file, Swift file, next to do item view model. Now in our view model, we'll need two functions. One function would calculate our due date and another function would calculate whether it's done or not. Basically help us in switching the status of our to-do. We will be only building the due date string in this tutorial. We'll cover the toggle status later on. But first, let's start building the view. So we'll go to our to-do item view. I'll remove this preview for now. We'll define an item of type tk to do. Okay, I don't know why the autocomplete is not working properly. Okay, so I needed to define our tk to do item like this. We'll do similar thing here. So we have our item of type tk to do. We actually won't be using preview in this file, so we can just remove it. Okay, and let's start working on a struct. We'll define a view model using state object, private var, view model is equal to do item view model. Before doing this, we actually need to define a class in our to do item view model file. We'll do that really quick, simply by class to do item view model conforms to observable object. And we have a class here. We'll give an empty initializer. Back in a view file, just have to fix this. Okay, so let's start working on a view. In our view, we'll simply first load of edge stack. We'll have an image using our SS symbol. We'll first see whether our item is done or not. If it's done, I'll have an FS symbol of check mark dot square. Otherwise, let's just go with a square. Again, to view your SS symbols, you can simply press Command Shift L and you have your SF symbols. When we tap this image, we'll trigger a function which would change the completion status. We will not build that now. We'll build that in the following video. Now in our edge stack, we also want our item title. We will do that simply by doing item.title inside our text. We'll give it a font of headline and we'll make it bold. We'll use a spacer. And here we'll define when our item is due text. And inside we'll call the view model function, which we'll build to represent our due date. For now, let's just have it as an empty string. Let's give it a font of footnote. And let's give the entire edge stack some padding. We'll give it a padding dot horizontal of 20. And that's it for a view. Now let's move on to our view model file to actually build our due date string function. In our view model, we'll have a calendar. Let's do like calendar is equal to calendar dot current. To get the current date, we'll define a function. Let's call it due date string. And it will take in an item of type tk to do item. It will return as a string, the string with the due date. So for now, let's have a due date. Let due date is equal to date. We'll do time interval since, and we'll take the due date from our time item called due date. Now I need you guys to actually build the if-else statements to fulfill this due date string function. You simply have to check whether the due date is today or not. If it's today, you'll return today. If it's tomorrow, you'll return tomorrow. If it was yesterday, you'll return yesterday. Otherwise, you simply return the due date as it is. I do not want to show you guys step by step how to do it, but here is the code if you have not done it on your own. It's fairly simple, and I believe if you have covered the course so far, you should be able to do this on your own. So this is our due date string in which we are returning a string of our due date, including whether it's today, tomorrow, yesterday, and so on. Now let's go back to our view of to do item view. And here we are just displaying our text. We'll have a view model dot due date item, and our item would be our item. And that's it. We have built a to do item.